Welcome back, everybody. Let's move on to the next lesson, which is creating multiple data sets with dataset fanouts. We've had this image forever. It's always been kind of incorrect. Here, in the previous example, we took a look at a feature type fanout for elevation. We have elevations of 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500. Those will create separate output feature types, layers of data of 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. If we wanted to, we could do this at the data set level as well. Where this has always been wrong is that elevation 100, this would be 100.dxf, 200.dxf, 300, 400, 500. So this is creating separate output data sets. When you're fanning out, it's important to be aware of the differences between feature types and data sets for your specific format. Ultimately, there are three basic types of formats that we support: file-based formats, folder-based formats, and database formats. A folder-based data set, the layers, the feature types, are actually individual files within a folder. Examples of this would be Esri shapefiles, mapinfo tab files, but also some additional files which might not be really obvious at first glance. Things like CSV files, some of the raster formats. In those situations, if I'm doing a feature type fanout, the features will be individual files. The dataset fanout will be separate folders. With file-based formats, those ones are fairly obvious. Everything's kept in a single file or pretty close to it. We have DXF files, MicroStation files. We have AutoCAD DWG files, GML files. Keep in mind, a GML file, yes, everything's kept in a GML file, but there's often a XSD file, a style sheet that goes along with it. So technically, two files, but realistically, everything's being kept in the GML file. In those situations, the layers are the feature types within it, within that file. So a feature type fanout will create separate layers or levels within those files. And a dataset fanout will create separate files. We can also, to a certain extent, use these fanouts in a database. The feature type fanout will be separate tables within that database. With a live database like SQL Server, the dataset fanout concept doesn't really exist. That would be writing out to entirely different databases, which would require different database connection files. It is also possible to combine this with zip. So let me just cancel that. So if I wanted to fan this out, I could right click on my writer here. Give this a moment to respond. There we are. So here we can see the fan out data set. This is the parameter that we would set to fan out the writer data set. When I double click on this, this looks like it's just a yes or no. It's actually a bit more involved than that. We have the folder, the directory that this fan out will occur in. You'll notice that this can also use the text editor. Let's see, can we choose attributes at this level? Sorry, the lab's not very responsive this morning. Just going to try a trick here. There, so I went into that. We have user parameters, so we can grab values from in here. But other than that, we can't really concatenate in any of the attributes from the features. That's really in the fanout expression here. So here I can make use of the attributes which exist on the feature types. And again, we can make that more complex by using the text editor. Now I can do this all inside of zip files as well, depending on where I put the .zip. Anytime FME sees a .zip, it will zip up that file. So I could do that up here for the fanout directory. I could do a .zip, and then all of that will go into a community mapping .zip file. If I do it in the fanout expression here, I could grab some attribute value, let's say book count .zip, and then I will get a separate zip file for every unique value of book count. So I could zip up at multiple levels as well, have everything in a single zip file, and then multiple zip files within that. Okay, so that is creating multiple data sets with dataset fanouts. So please review the lesson, and we'll continue at, let's see here. We're pretty close to the top of the hour. So let's give you a 5-minute break at the top of the hour as well as this. So we will continue at 10:05. Good luck, everybody.